My name is Kiara here at the Jack Bradley Agency. Today we are sitting down with three people from Premier Mortgage. I will let them introduce themselves. We'll start with Clay.
Hey everybody, I'm Clay Cantrell. I answer to both. I'm not going to be offended. I am with Premier Mortgage. We are located in Demorest, Georgia. Um, I've been in the mortgage business for almost 16 years now. Started with a company called Homestar Financial, which a lot of people are probably familiar with, but moved over to Premier about 2.5 years ago and really haven't looked back since. But Kara, thank you for having us today.
Absolutely.
We
Yes.
look forward to the questions and sharing some helpful insight. Now, I'll pass it to Tony and let her introduce herself.
Sounds great. I'm Tanya Hopper. I have been with Premier for about 4 years. I love helping families get into homes, especially when they thought they might not be able to. I look forward to the questions too, and thank you for having us.
My name is Rolando, and I'm very glad to be here with my team members, and we're excited to maybe share some insights that help you be able to know that you actually can qualify to purchase your not only your first home but also your second home as a rental, which is an investment property. So, thanks again for the time. And I've been in the business probably about 25 years,
Wow.
directly with mortgages probably about 8, but in lending for many years. So
That's
thank you.
awesome.
Mhm.
Thank you, Rolando.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And one more thing,
Yes.
we do hablo español,
Oh,
which is good.
amazing.
If you need someone that is a little challenged with a language, Spanish, English, then let me know. I'm more than happy to help them. We do speak the language, and we have materials in Spanish as well.
Oh, amazing.
Hmm.
Thank you so much for that
Yes.
information. Perfect. So today we're going to dive in a little bit on some questions that first time home buyers or maybe someone who hasn't bought a home in a while may have when it comes to getting a loan or just even getting the process started. So we'll start. We're just going to let them answer as they feel comfortable. And here we go. So there are several different mortgage loan types. How do you know what you qualify for? How is that process started?
So, the best place to start is to get pre qualified for the mortgage. The pre qualification will tell you, your real estate agent, it puts basically everybody on the same page. So it builds your budget, lets you know what you can qualify for, but it also sets the correct expectation for monthly payment that you will have, what interest rate you can expect. As far as programs go, we offer essentially any program that's out there, right? So your standard conventional USDA, FHA, VA, and then we offer a lot of what we call non-qualified mortgages, which is basically anything that doesn't fit within that box. So there's a lot of self-employment options, for example, on that non-QM realm. But to determine which program that you best fit into, that question is answered within that pre-qualification as well, because there's a lot of variables such as credit score, down payment, um, you know, monthly payment, debt to income, all that plays into which program that you'll qualify for because the guideline sets are different on each of them. So after we review your information and issue that pre-qualification, we'll let you know what options that are available. You may have one, you may have five. If there's an instance where you have multiples, then we'll just determine for your specific situation which one of those fits best, and then that's what we'll go with.
Cool. That's good. So while I have you on that subject, talking about a down payment, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's something that deters a lot of people these days from buying. People don't have very big savings anymore. So how much would you need for a first time home buyer kind of program? And for first time home buyers, are there any kind of down payment assistance programs available?
That is a very great question because a lot of people call us and they think they can't qualify because they think they need 20% down, which is an absolute myth. Um, it's kind of crazy how we're in 2026 and people still think they need 20% down, but um, it's very possible for a first time home buyer and even a second time, third time home buyer to obtain a zero down scenario. We have several options. Two of the standard USDA is zero down, VA, zero down just for veterans, but it does offer zero down. And then we do have some down payment assistance programs that allow you to either borrow your down payment or some of them come from a grant. There's some federal and state grants that are out there that will provide that money and they don't have a monthly payment. Some of them do not have a monthly payment on the grants or the DPAs.
Would you agree that the Georgia Dream is a phenomenal DPA? Can you?
I certainly would. Georgia Dream, it allows a
Okay, you're good right
baseline
there.
of like $10,000 in assistance that can
Yeah.
be used towards closing cost or down payment, whichever that we need.
Mhm.
And then they have um, some additional Georgia Dream programs that'll go to like 12.5 for 12,500 for first responders, fire EMS heroes we call them basically. So yeah, Georgia Dream's a great option.
Educators too.
Yeah, educators as well. Georgia Dream's a great option, but it's just one of the many tools in our belt to help first-time buyers get into that house and not have to put so much money into it up front.
One of the benefits, if I may, one of the benefits of the Georgia Dream, I love that the DPA, we call them DPAs, the down payment assistance program, because you don't have any, it doesn't reflect on your payment. In other words, it's like a second lien that goes on the property, but you don't have any payments due. So it doesn't increase your liabilities or payment. It just sits there until the house sells or you refinance it, then it's paid back whatever the amount they provided for you. But it just sits there. So you can it's just phenomenal. There's no payment on it. And there's other programs, right?
Yeah.
That where you do have it's paid out in 10 years, so you have an additional $90 a month to pay back whatever they loaned you. So there are plenty. We just did one recently, a USDA, where the customer got their money, their earnest money back. Zero. It's phenomenal. So you can get some help. The house value comes in, the appraisal comes in a certain amount, and then as well, and you get seller contributions, right? So nowadays the market is very different, which I think you all would agree. You all is
Yes.
that now 2-3 years ago it was more of the seller's market.
Mhm.
Now it's kind of transitioning to the buyers. So now the buyers have more options where seller is very, should we say, eager,
Right.
Yes.
eager to sell their property, and then they contribute, 2%, 3%, whatever it might be, towards the transaction. So you have minimal money down to purchase a house. So there's all kinds of programs for sure.
That is very cool. Okay, that's good. Well, home buyers, I don't know if you tuned into our realtor segment earlier this week, but I think he may have also said that it was a buyer's market. So 2 times, pretty good odds. I'm just saying. So next question, talking kind of about closing costs and stuff like that. Are closing costs typically based on the amount of the loan, what attorneys you choose, stuff like that? Is that something that varies, or is that something that's typically like a percentage of something?
Go ahead.
Well, there's you can generally you can say between 2 to 5% is the cost would be of the purchase price,
Mhm.
but again that can be offset by the seller contributions. So one thing that I always say, and folks might get mad at me, but or not some attorneys, because there's some firms that charge you for the very uh, air you breathe when you walk in the office, and there's some attorney or firms that will do the same work
Mhm.
for a whole lot less. So, but as lenders, we don't have really a lot of choice of where you do the closing, but more the realtor side.
Uh-huh.
But as for, the seller contributions can offset the cost. So between 3 to 5% it would be. Would you agree with that, Steve,
Yeah.
as well? So that's a safe number
That's
to
good.
look at. Yep.
Cool.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, sure.
As far as a percentage, the closing costs are based on the loan amount. But as far as a percentage, it kind of depends on how much you're financing. So what I mean by that is if you're financing less, then you may be more on a higher percentage of closing costs. But if you're financing, 6, 7, 800,000, then you'll be on that lower, side of the spectrum for closing costs. So, but as
Good point.
Rolando
Good
mentioned,
point. Yeah.
the seller can always contribute. There are maximums that they can pay, but I mean, generally, unless the loan amount's low, like 50,000 low,
Mhm.
which it's hard to find
Woo,
something
we
for that
love
price.
that. Yeah.
Um, But typically, the seller can cover all the closing costs, and that's pretty essential in accomplishing that zero down because the closing costs do have to be accounted for. Um, so it's we typically recommend to have the seller pay them if possible, and then we'll ask your real estate agent to also work that into the negotiations. But I just wanted to add that on
That's good.
closing.
I'll throw one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, and this sounds like a lot too, but I was going to mention that the buyer doesn't necessarily have to worry about that a lot. We work with a lot of realtors who know exactly how to work it in, and we can communicate with them. So it kind of sounds
That's a
overwhelming,
good point. Yeah.
but we can definitely make it easier for you so that you don't have to stress about it.
That's so good. It's so nice to have. We talked about small town. It's nice to know your people and know who you can go to and know the workings of stuff. So that's a
Absolutely.
really
That's
good
right.
point, Tanya. Awesome. So this may be a different answer from all of you just because of your different years of experience. What are some big mistakes you see people make when they go to buy a home for the first time?
Not getting pre-qualified first. So arguably, and I'll take this to my grave, the most important thing that you can do is get pre-qualified first. The worst thing that can happen is find a house, fall in love with it. Just, it's a very exciting time. I remember when I bought my first house, and I'm sure the rest of
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys too. You're so excited, you're so nervous. I tell my customers this process you experience probably every emotion that exists, right?
Yes.
There's ups, there's downs, but you don't want there to be any downs. And not getting pre-qualified first is a good way to experience that because you can get your heart set, get your hopes up, and then be let down if you don't get pre-qualified and set that precedent first. So that's my take on that. If somebody wants to add.
Okay. That's a good point. I think also when you start the application process, make sure you tell us anything you might need that we might need to know. Like if you only know the properties, even if they're rented out, or anything that you might, because the underwriters will discover it for sure. And it's easier to kind of tackle any problems at the beginning rather than later.
Smart.
And also, this is kind of after you've been approved, but once you've been pre-approved for your mortgage, don't open any more credit at
That's a
all.
good
Like,
one.
don't let anybody pull your credit. Don't buy anything. I have seen one instance where a lady, we worked so hard to get her pre-approved for almost 12 months. We got her credit score up exactly where it needed to be. So she went and bought a Jeep.
Oh,
So needless to say, she did not get a house. So you have to be really
that's a
careful
good
once you're
one.
pre-approved not to change your financial situation as well.
It's very good.
Something that I would recommend, especially when you've been pre-approved
Mhm.
and you found a house, and sometimes you get the a paralysis of analysis
Mhm.
where you've got some buyers that focus solely on one aspect of the loan, like the rate. Oh, the rate is everything. And the answer is no. What we recommend, and I recommend to my clients as well, is once you find a house and you're comfortable with a payment and you are good, go with it, because you can always, if you don't like the rate at the time, but you're pre-qualified, you've been pre-approved, and you can get the house, close on the house, and then later, then you can do whatever. You can refinance, you can do whatever. But I think sometimes some people get focused so much on the rate, because the rate you can really get as long as your credit is okay, you can negotiate the rate. You can get a better rate if you want to. It just costs a little more money or however. But the important thing is that once you've been pre-approved
Mhm.
and you're comfortable with a payment, let your loan officer handle the rest of it, because you trust in us for the best, the biggest, and we agree,
Oh yeah.
the biggest investment of your purchase of your life. And we want what's best for you, because we want you to be smiling and you can tell others what a good job we did.
That's good.
So I think that's important, that once you've been pre-approved, you found the house, don't get that paralysis of analysis where you just every little no. Just, are you good with the payment? All right, great. Let's move. Let's get going. Come on. Let's
That's
make it
smart.
happen.
That's
Definitely.
so
Yeah.
smart. You
Mhm.
gotta be chill through the whole process.
Yes. Yes.
That is very true.
Mhm.
So this is a question that was not on here, but I just thought about it because it was a question I had when I bought my home. We talked about the different types of down payments and stuff. So tell me a little bit about when PMI sets in on those different kind of mortgage types. That was like one of the top questions when I Googled, was why do I have this on my loan? It's not really
Yeah.
something that's super explained. They're just like, you have to have it because
Mhm.
of this. So if y'all will talk about that a little bit.
Why not?
You go ahead.
Yeah.
Like taxes.
So PMI is what
Yes.
PMI is private mortgage insurance, and the purpose of private mortgage insurance, just to go back in time just a little bit, before private mortgage insurance came to the market,
Mhm.
the 20% down was kind of the standard, right? So that was pretty much what buyers faced, because what the investors look at is if the property goes into default, right? They either want 20% down typically, or they want a private mortgage insurance policy, which will kick in and help offset that loss to the lender. There's probably no lender that's going to issue or lend 100% financing without some type of PMI. So if you don't want PMI, you would need 20% down. But I will say this, probably 8 out of 10 loans that we close carry PMI, but that's not forever, right? So there's a lot of ways to eliminate PMI. PMI is I consider a good tool. A lot of people don't like it, but I consider it good because it does allow, how long would it take you to save 20%?
Right.
Would you wait 2 years? Would you miss out on $25,000 worth of appreciation
Yes.
if you didn't pay the PMI? So, I look at it as a good thing. But again, it's not forever. Some PMI will go away when you pay your loan to value to 80% or you contribute that 20%. Or you can refinance and get rid of that PMI as well. So I consider it a good thing. It kind of gets a bad name, but if you kind of know, the workings behind it, why it was introduced, um, I consider it good.
Yeah, I like it. That is good. It was had a negative connotation when we first found out about it. I was like, I don't really want this. I didn't know that that was a stipulation of this type of loan that I chose, but we did work towards it, paid it down, and we requested that it be removed. So
Sure.
it was not very expensive. If I say that to not scare anybody, it was
Right.
like $50 a month.
Right.
So
Right. It's
not
a
very
huge amount.
expensive. Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's just something you see, when you get that big house payment, you're like, why am I paying an extra $50 a month? So, my last question, and you guys all mentioned credit a lot, and that is obviously a very big factor when purchasing a home and getting a loan of any kind. Um, do you guys offer assistance programs with helping your clients build their credit, or do y'all kind of give that out to someone, or is that something y'all do in house for your clients? Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So there are a couple of different ways we can handle that.
Mhm.
We do have software that will help us see like if there are any easy fixes. So if it's something pretty basic, we can help the client. We can say, hey, pay this credit card down or take care of this collection. We can give them that guidance. But if it's very, detailed or intricate above what we might normally do, we do have some experts we work with who can help with that too. And we've had great success with that. The one quick, easy tip that you can do to get your score up is make sure none of your credit cards carry a high balance. You want to keep it below 30%. So if your card has $1,000 limit, you want to keep it below 300 on how much you owe. And that's one quick, easy way to bump your score way up.
That's good. That's super good to know.
And that's true. The minimum you can actually get a loan, you agree, with a 580,
Oh wow. Okay.
580, even less.
Hmm.
But you got to go through a lot of hoops
You have
to
to have
make it
some
happen.
money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Down payment.
So you really want to increase your credit score to above 640
Okay.
is a good number, which is a good threshold to say this is what's going to work good. It's going to be fine. We're not going to get a lot of
Pushback.
hurt pushback from
Yeah.
it. So, but you can also go to at the annual credit report
Hmm.
online. You can get a free credit report from all three credit bureaus, and it's something you can see where you're at, and you can get it free every year. But your credit score is a driver to how expensive or how less expensive your loan is going to be, because that is a huge driver to the rate.
Gotcha.
your FICO score. Very important. But again, with us, if you come in with a 600, 580, it's okay.
Yeah.
We can make it work, and we can say you might not qualify now. And we've had plenty of people. You might not qualify now, but you can qualify in 3 months
Okay.
or 6 months or 7 months. In while we wait, we can encourage you to be saving this much money so that you're in a better position. You have options. So it's just because you might not qualify right now,
Mm-hmm.
you can qualify in 6 months or 3 months or 9 months, however it might be. But that's important to people to know. So we work with the folks from day one, and it might take a while, but we can make it happen, and we can close once you've been approved and you find a house. We can close that loan in less than 30 days. We've closed them
Awesome.
in, what is the record? Less than 15.
Yeah, I
Wow.
think I did one.
Oh my
Seven,
gosh.
is that right?
Wow.
That's moving fast.
That is
Yeah.
very
But a
fast.
great credit score enables us to get your loan closed sooner. And the sooner we can close that loan, the happier people are. The realtor,
That's
That's right.
true.
the customer,
Yes.
and we are.
Yes.
Definitely so.
That is
And the
so
insurance.
cool.
And then,
Yes,
so
yeah,
that's right.
yes, 100%.
Uh,
That is so accurate. What an asset it is to have people in our community that can hold your hand all the way to the finish line. Is there anything else you guys would like to add or say about what you do?
I'll just reiterate again, make sure that you are pre-qualified at minimum, at least pre-approved before you enter the purchase. That's the most important step for me. And that's what I'll add to kind of wrap things up here. But please just make sure you do that. Um, I would recommend doing it with a local lender. I would recommend a local real estate agent. I would recommend a local insurance agency. Um, those people will have your back. I promise you, when the others won't.
Oh,
So
yeah.
just keep that in mind. That's my advice.
That's a great point. Yeah. Yeah. Don't do internet lenders but also don't pre-qualify yourself. In other words, don't assume you can't buy a house. Talk to us. If you're not ready now, like you were saying, we'll come up with a plan. We can get you on track so that you can.
Yes.
Yep. Just literally last week, I've been working with a customer, pre-qualified them, and the customer decided to go with the online lender.
Oh, yeah.
And then about just a few days ago, I had the agent call me, and she says, Rolando, can you help us again? I said, what do you mean? She says, well, we can't get an answer from the other lender. I said, oh, well then.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we are available almost 24/7.
Yes.
And that is a great advantage
Mm-hmm.
where you can be. Most people are working 8 to 5, 8 to 6, but we're available to the needs of our customers,
Yes.
and that's here locally as well. So if you need to get a hold of us at 6 o'clock at night, we do answer our phones, uh, even if we're eating. We're eating, right? The only time we might not
That's
answer
right.
is if we're
Sleep.
sleeping,
Yeah.
but most of
Well,
the
not
time,
still.
Yeah.
myself. But we love to have the opportunity to serve you. We welcome you. We have an office here in Demorest, and we're in Toccoa, but our office is here in Demorest, not far from here. So give us an opportunity, and I think you'll be pleased. Yes.
I'll just add to that. We do serve a much larger area than
Oh
just
yeah.
Demorest, obviously. We are licensed in all of the southeastern states. So Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Florida. So we do carry licenses in all those states if someone's looking for a second home, right, or to relocate. But our company is licensed in all 50. So, anywhere nationwide, we can help you go nationwide if that's what you want to do, but still have that local hometown service. So,
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Y'all heard it here first. Keep it local. And we will put all of these guys' contact information to them individually and just to Premier Mortgage as a whole in the comments or on the post of this. And we hope you guys have a wonderful day.
Thank you.